Assalamu alaikum, dear students and respect viewers. As you know, our today's chapter, that is Rise of Trade and Towns, it is chapter number 8, and we are reading in it Growth of Trade, Agricultural Intensification, the second, and our today's topic for discussion is the second urbanization. When we are talking about the rise of trade and towns, we have talked about agricultural intensification, how agriculture grew up with the passage of time because of the iron tools, and among it was most important axe, that has through which people cutted the forests and brought the land under the cultivation. Then we talked about the growth of crafts also. We also talked about the growth of trade, how the big bazaars were set up by the merchants for the selling of their goods. Now we have to talk about the second urbanization. If this was in the big bazaars, trade goods which are called as strinis, both in the north and the south. Now we have to talk about how the second urbanization came and with whom it is related. If the first urbanization is related with the Harappa civilization and with the Aryans, as you know how they were living, then we have to talk about the second urbanization, that is related with which period, with which people. About them we will talk also. The second urbanization. As I told you, first urbanization is referred to Harappa civilization and Harappa period. Later on, Aryans came and they destroyed their cities. As you know, when the first kingdom comes into the power, it sets its own cities and towns, and the second king changes or destroys them. For example, I will give a simple example. When we in India, we were under the Congress rule from the last 50 years, and now when the BJP came in power from the last 6 years, you may have seen the name of villages have been changed now. Not only this, but they have also changed the name of departments from English to Hindi. This is what the change of rule. This is not only going in India, but we have also such examples in USA, United States of America. Then it is very common for we people that it had happened in the history before this, and it had been with Harappa civilization. Those people have established the cities and towns, and those cities and towns were destroyed by the Aryans. And now, when we are talking about the second urbanization, new towns and cities came up with the age of Buddha. It is referred as second urbanization. When we are talking about the Buddhism, or we have talked about the Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism in the previous chapters, then in the Buddhistic age, a new king, namely Ashoka, and Mauryan, I mean to say Chandragupta Mauryan Empire when came, and among them one was the Ashoka, who established the new towns and cities. That is why this is called as the second urbanization with the Buddha, with the Buddhistic period. And what are the reasons and how the new towns and cities were set up or they grew in size? Because the agricultural intensification led to the growth of new towns. For example, Ujjain, Patalaputra, Vishali, Rajagiriya, all these and many more other cities were set up. That means when we people or anybody have money, we are able to build the new houses. We are able to migrate to another places. Same is the case with these people, because agriculture at this moment, even in those moments, was the source of revenue for the people. First of all, towns grew in size, but later on they grew in both in size and number. For example, I will give a simple example. Before some years, as you are very small child, even though in those days, however, you may have not seen or read, but I will give you a simple example. Handwara was a small town, but now it is a very vast and big town. And Langate, Kralagund, all these towns don't have any importance before 7 or 8 years, but with the passage of time, as you are also looking me also observing this, that the new towns are also growing in size and number. Same happened with this period, with Buddhistic period. We have to be very much clear about this second urbanization, the Cholas. This was basically a kingdom, and this was established by the Vijayawalya, and it was situated between the two rivers, that is Pennar and Vellore rivers. For example, very easy to understand. We are asking someone, in which village do you live? Then he answers us. But same is the case. We are calling an area by a name, for example, Kaji Abad or this Chaklai Pohru. And when we are calling about the Pohru, then we are situated on the banks of river Pohru. Same is the case. These people were also, this kingdom, was situated between the two rivers, that is Pennar and Vellore rivers. And as I told you, this was founded by the Vijayawalya, the man, and he also conquered various areas. Then Raja and Rajendra, about them we talked in previous chapters. Raja and Rajendra, these were the powerful people, and also they were great in their kingdom, made this kingdom very powerful. Not only this, but after all, when we are talking also about the revenue, agriculture and trade were two sources of revenue. The overseas trade made merchants very rich. That means they had trade not only limited to their area, but their trade was overseas. That means they were trading with other regions, with other countries. From this point, we can understand that these people were best in the trade. Now, as you know, kings come and kings go. This is the history. As the people are coming in the power, and same people are leaving their throne or chair, and the new people came on the scene. And one among them, as the Rajendra and Raja leave the empire, and as they died, the new man who was Kerikala, he was also an important ruler who founded the new capital of the Chola at Puhar. That means this Chola is basically a dynasty, Chola dynasty, and it is also called as Chola kingdom. As I mentioned that Raja and Rajendra Chola, they have revived the empire, and the new man who also did a good for this empire was Kerikala. And now the successors of the Chola empire, they continued to fight against the neighboring nations, against the neighboring kingdoms also. And when you are going in continuous fight, it is definitely that we are going to lose our treasury also, our economy also, our revenue also. And with the passage of time, when this Chola empire lost their revenue, lost their money, and this empire with the passage of time came to an end in the 13th century. And the main reason of their decline or of their fall was nothing else but the continuous fighting with the other local or neighboring kingdoms. We are basically talking about the second urbanization, the wave of second urbanization. Not only of it, we also talked about the Cholas and then another kingdom, that is Pandava. and it was south. It was this kingdom, as we talked about the Chola kingdom, where it was situated between the two rivers, and this kingdom Pandava, it was south of the Chola in the region around modern Maduri. Maduri was also their capital. That means this place, this is probably in यूपी मदुरी, शायद शायद ये यूपी में है, उत्तर प्रदेश में है, तो वहाँ पर ये थी कौन, it was there, this kingdom, and it has also its features. They were famous because of their trade with other regions. That means this kingdom was also good in trade, and it was also best in agricultural cultivation. They were exporting the good material like as spices, pearls, silk, and iron, and their source was also income. Source of income was, or revenue was, agriculture. And Megasthenes was the first person who mentioned the Pandavas in the inscriptions of Ashoka. While talking about it, one thing became clear for we people, that is what these people or these kingdoms were only exporting, not importing. That means these kingdoms were best in their growth rate of economy, or their economy in generally was best, because when we are talking about their import and export, then we are talking they were only exporting, not importing, right? If they were importing, but that was in little bit as compared to the exporting. But presently when we are talking about the India, then we are importing more than exporting. Through these things, through these points, we are able to understand. In our class 7th history book, we also talk about these things, and when we are discussing all these matters in class 7th during the medieval period, that is under the Muslim rule, then it becomes also clear that economy or the growth rate of the country of Indian subcontinent was best. Thank you. Also go through the book and read it. That is good for we people.